What's up, Kart Masters? Nightside back with another video. This one took a little bit to get around to because a bunch of life stuff happened, but I really wanted to talk about the Final Fantasy 16 demo that released this past week. Now obviously the game is coming out really soon, but I wanted to go over quickly my thoughts over the game thus far, and I'll try to keep this spoiler free for those that want to keep their playthrough completely fresh until launch. If you haven't played the demo yet, go download it, like right now on PlayStation 5. You basically get to play the prologue, which transfers to the full game, and it gives you a really good idea of what to expect. Now, we all knew that Final Fantasy 16 was going to be a very big departure from what Final Fantasy games are like usually. The story and the characters are much darker in tone, and the voice acting and scripting thus far is so on point that you know that things are going to get super real. Quite literally felt like I was watching a Games of Thrones episode but reskinned with Final Fantasy, which means we see a lot of blood, killing, betrayal, and a lot of intrigue. Also, interesting thing to note is that the game is lip synced to the English voice actors, so you actually get a much more natural performance playing the game in English. Sorry, sub fans. Especially because I won't speak about anything specific story-wise, believe me when I say that the story will actually really hook you. My attention span when it comes to RPGs nowadays has gotten so bad that I stop halfway or stop listening or stop reading dialogue and forget why events even happen. Not in this game. It's also extremely helpful that they include a tool that you can access at any point to get an explanation of characters and terms. Very neat for people that have trouble keeping up. Now let's talk about gameplay. Final Fantasy XVI's controls are actually pretty simple and straightforward, but offer a lot of depth for combo fiends who are particularly versed in the gameplay of Devil May Cry. Square is your melee button, triangle is your spell button, circle is your iconic feats or basically your abilities, and X is jump. You can also target lock, R1 to dodge, and when you dodge at the last second, it will allow you to perform a precision dodge and it sets you up for a precision counter. The D-pad also, it corresponds to your items. Now, also similarly to Final Fantasy VII Remake, as you deal damage, you will deplete an enemy's will meter. When it's completely empty, the enemy will get staggered and fall into a vulnerable state, giving you a big window to do a lot of attacks at higher damage. And that's just the prologue. Once you've beaten what the demo has given you for story, you're actually able to take on what's called the Iconic Challenge, which story-wise is set later in the game, but gives you a much more fleshed out experience of the gameplay. You're granted 3 total icons, each with their own iconic abilities and can easily be swapped out on the fly. Now, this is where it gets insanely cool, because now you attack and use abilities from something like Phoenix or Titan, where you'll ground pound enemies on the floor and then you'll use Garuda to pop the enemies into the air. Now, I'm not creative enough to make something look cool, nor did I spend enough time to do it, but as I said earlier, Devil May Cry combo fiends will feel right at home with this, as it's similar to Dante's style change. Not to mention, your limit break turns into a fiery demon, helping you to attack even more aggressively. Now, the menu screen for the demo gives us 2 very important things to play around with: gear and icons, and abilities. Under gear and icon, you're able to change which icons are in use and where to map their abilities, in addition to changing out not only your equipment but also rings. Now, as you may have heard, rings serve many functions in this game that go beyond stat boosting. They also unlock features that can change the difficulty of your battles, such as the Ring of Timely Focus, which helps you dodge evadable attacks by slowing time. There's also the Ring of Timely Strikes, which basically serves as a auto combo button. The options range from making battles a little easier to automatically performing functions to keep the stress away from gamers who might not be as experienced. Last but not least, we have the abilities page, which at this time seems to be where you can unlock more iconic feats and also master them to increase potency. The abilities you unlock in the demo can be mapped in the gear and icons page to be immediately put to use. Overall, I'm extremely excited for Final Fantasy XVI. I think that Yoshi P and his team have done an amazing job with just the prologue alone, and it makes me shake with excitement to getting my hands on the full game. Now, there are people that aren't too fond of where Final Fantasy XVI is currently going, saying that it's a great game, but not a Final Fantasy game, pointing out to things like the battle system and the story and etc. Now, in my personal opinion, and at least of what I've played so far in the demo, I feel it's going to be a great game and a great Final Fantasy. Games evolve just like people do. While Final Fantasy games have been historically turn-based for the majority of the numerical series, I don't think it necessarily means it has to be chained down there. While I feel for my turn-based gamers, I hope that they'll give Final Fantasy 16 a shot. From at least this casual gamer's perspective, it looked really good, it sounded really good, and it sure as hell played extremely good. I'm sure when it launches, it'll be a big contender for Game of the Year. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, leave a comment what you guys think about Final Fantasy 16, and don't forget to check me out on Twitch, where I stream live playing a variety of different games, including Monster Hunter, Genshin Impact, Apex Legends, and I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 16. That's it for me, Cart Masters. As always, stay safe, get mad, get sad, have fun. I'll catch you guys next time.
Woo! Let's go. Easiest of claps, man. Hello?